Good afternoon everyone, it's DHUM2 here. This afternoon I'm going to be giving you a quick review of the Roland RD-700NX keyboard. I haven't seen many reviews about this on the internet, so just thought I'd give you a basic overview of the features that I find interesting, whether you should consider it for your own use or not. One thing that's great about this keyboard is how easy it is to get to a basic piano. As soon as you turn it on, you're taken to a concert grounds, which you can play instantly. If you want to switch between different types of pianos, you've got easy access buttons here which switch between your studio grounds, your brilliant pianos, your concert grounds, and 3 types of e-pianos as well. So yeah, I'm just going to run over some of the other buttons that you find on the front of the layout of the keyboard and kind of what these will give you access to. So you've got a couple of buttons here to menu functions and to write your data, which you might have been editing, for example, if you changed levels or if you've included sounds and all that kind of thing. That can be easily set here. You've then got these 2 buttons which relate to the bank. Now, in this keyboard you have this concept of live sets. A live set is made up of a maximum of 4 different parts, which you can customise all the settings of. So from the volume of each part, so you can control obviously the velocity limits, the split point, and all sorts of other features. You can also control the effects and the various parameters of the keyboard which can be set from the menu. Just a quick point about the interface. There's a really good kind of wheel here which allows you to scroll through values or tracks or anything, any kind of value on the keyboard, which is really good. Having to sort of press increasing and decreasing buttons. Another thing that's really great about the Roland keyboard is you've got these easy access knobs to things like equalization, delay, chorus, compressor and sound focus. For these layer controls here, it's quite a good interface really. You've got your 4 parts which you can control individually, the volumes, and switch the parts on and off, which is very useful. There's also an option to switch between control and layer level. Now what this allows you to do is instead of controlling just the volume of each part, you can actually control the amount of effects that you might want to apply. The effects are really good. There's about 80 different effects which range from just kind of an equaliser to all sorts of delays and overdrive and amp simulators and all sorts of stuff. What else? So you've also got a song and rhythm section right next to this which allows you to play music files off a USB stick for one, or kind of your basic rhythmy stuff that you might be useful to all these kind of films, which I wouldn't really use. But it's a great idea to be able to play your MP3s, because obviously you can just start a song and play along to it, which is really good, especially if you're in a rehearsal environment and people aren't sure how a song sounds. You can easily play it through your keyboard. Also, you can record your performances. You can record the keyboard audio, and that's stored as a WAV file on your USB stick, which can be plugged in at the back, and then obviously you can do whatever you would like to with that later. And there's also some split and transpose buttons, which are pretty simple to use, and also a MIDI button which you can control the various MIDI outputs and stuff. Yeah, that's the basic overview of the front of the keyboard. On the back you've got balanced outputs which are useful, phono jacks, various MIDI ports, USB and USB stick port, and also your 3 pedal ports which are useful as well. The final feature I want to talk about is the assignment. So in this keyboard you get 2 assignable buttons here, S1 and S2, and also your 3 pedals. Now you can assign these to do whatever you wanted to do within a certain scope, obviously. You could get them to start or stop a song that you might be playing off your USB stick. You could get them to control the amount of effects, to turn effects on and off, in the case of those buttons, to go shift up and down an octave, transpose up and down a note, those kind of features that you might be used to. Included in the package with the keyboard you actually get quite a good damper pedal. The reason this is good is not only is it a simple on-off damper, but it's also variable control, which means that if you wanted, you could assign it to, say, control modulation instead, or some kind of variable effects level, instead of using these controls here, which can be quite useful using your foot, kind of as a foot control. The keyboard doesn't have such features, so there's arpeggiation. It's not really designed as a synthesizer. The synthesizer sounds also aren't that great. So bear in mind, if you wanted to use kind of a more synthesised sound, you'd probably want to be using a laptop as well. The screen's also pretty big, which is a plus because it allows you to see what you're doing if it's pretty dark. You can also do such features as a panel lock, which is useful, and you can even disable features such as the modulation wheel and the pitch bend to stop annoying people pitch bending your songs as you might be playing them. Yeah, overall it's a great keyboard. It's a big investment, and obviously it's about £2,000 in various places. But I recommend purchasing it. I found it very useful. I was kind of looking at the 300NX and also the older 700GX. The 300NX is also a good keyboard. It doesn't have the same feel. It has most of the, I think it has the same sounds, but the user interface has kind of been simplified a bit. But actually this makes it much harder to use. You don't get features such as the good scroll wheel, which I explained earlier. The live set quick access buttons are kind of more compressed. Also you don't have the ability to turn layers on and off, which isn't very useful. Also the equaliser only has 3 knobs instead of 4. There's a number of other features that they've kind of left out to make it not that much cheaper to produce, but just a lot more annoying, so you do want to be persuaded to buy the better model. And I would really advise it because it's a couple of £100 more, but I think it's a good investment because I certainly use the layer cutting off feature all the time during performances. And also another feature to bear in mind is that on the 300 you have to use an external AC to DC adapter, whereas this will take a standard kettle lead AC input, which obviously if you're setting up on stage makes it much easier, as you don't need to bring any power cables with you, and also have transformers lying around on the floor, which is just another thing that could get damaged. So yeah, it's a great keyboard overall. I encourage you to look at the different options before you buy. If you've got any specific questions or things you want answered, comment them in the comment box below and I'll see if I can get back to you. Also check out my website at dhume.co.uk where I'll post pictures of this keyboard out close, because I know there aren't many pictures around on the internet of users that are interested in seeing the different control features and what they'd be getting for their money. And there's also a section on there on Native Instruments Complete 7 Elements, which will give you an idea of what that is and whether you want to invest in it. Yeah, so thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.